What's up, hardheads? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another week of Talking Lovecraft Country, episode 8, titled Jig-A-Bobo. Yeah, Jig-A-Bobo. So today I got with me Ryan from Brother Ghoulish's Tomb podcast, and I also have Grae from Kill the Dead podcast. Say hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
All right, so we here again to talk another episode of Lovecraft Country, y'all. Starting with you, Grae. What did you think about this episode so far?
I got what I asked for. I wanted monsters, and we got a monster. I know it's too early to get into it now, but the last 5 minutes of the show, I was standing on my couch. I was so fucking happy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things going on here other than my selfish needs, but I thought the way they handled the Emmett Till thing being the centerpiece of the episode was interesting. I'm glad they didn't actually show the body.
Yeah.
I don't know how triggering that would be for people in general, or take you out of the episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I like the way they handled it. I like that it is a conversation piece in most of the households, or if not all the households. Like, it comes up throughout the episode. Like, no one's just like, oh, this boy died today, or today's the wake, and we're just going to go about our life. Like, it kept coming back into play. As to where, we get to see Dee or Diana in action.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess in action is not the right word. Go through her adventure, triggered by this event.
Yeah.
Well, no, I liked it.
Yeah, same here. How about you, Ryan?
I felt like the episode was very complex, and I need to rewatch it. It was like I definitely picked up the bigger elements of the show, but it kind of was a lot to digest, and I'm pretty sure that there were a lot of things I actually missed.
Yeah, same here. It was a lot to digest, but at the same time, again, with the show they give us a whole bunch of questions, and then we have to figure out how to answer them in some type of way, or we probably get the answer like in the next episode or so. But in this one, like you mentioned, last week, Grae, you said like with the title Jig-A-Bobo that this week we was going to get like an episode referring to Emmett Till. And I remember all of us and Kat and Jazz, we were just like, oh damn, like we're not ready for that type of like episode because it could be triggering. But like you said just now, I'm happy how they handled it, because they just talk about like the aftermath, and they also talk about like because in real life Emmett Till, like they didn't like freeze them and stuff like that, or what do you call the body, the embalming? Yeah. So he smelled because of that, and also because of the heat and stuff. So when they made a reference to that in the episode, I was just like, damn. But it's crazy how they just tie in real life events in with this show. It's crazy. But I also felt for Dee a lot, Diana, aka Dee, just because like me and like my boyfriend was watching, and I guess he forgot about like her, like pretty much her whole situation. I'm like, you have to realize her father's dead, her mom is somewhere in the damn outer space, and she doesn't know, and like her best friend, Bobo's dead. So it's just like she doesn't know what to do with her emotions and stuff like that. So how she's reacting was like really fucked up. So it was a shame, actually. So for me, it hit me a little hard too, because when I see somebody react and as far as when they're losing somebody and just see the type of grief that they go through, it just hits me, because I'm just I don't know, emotional person. So I don't know, even though it's just a show.
I kind of agree with you there. I mean, if you look at it, Montrose is the only adult around she can console in. Like, It's like the worst case scenario.
Exactly, like out everybody. I'm like Montrose. Okay, so obviously we see Dee, she leaves I guess the funeral and stuff like that. And she's going about doing her business, and she sees these two girls and she sees them having a good time and laughing, and she like throws rocks at them or whatever. Because she's upset. Like she's sad and they're sitting there about their own life, just having a good time. And I guess she probably just took her frustrations out on them. She was just like, I'm sad.
Oh, for sure.
Great time. So just like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. But then these two white cops, approach her, and that part just like had me on my edge of my seat, because I'm just like, all right, how is this going to play out? Because she's only a little girl. So, and it's just, and back in the day, white cops didn't care. And, even today, they don't care. But I already know something's not going to, nothing good is going to come out of this. But then one of them had the comic book that we've seen from the last one. And I think when you guys mentioned it, that one of the police was probably going to see it because that comic book was left with the cop's dead body inside there, where Hippolyta was at. And they end up putting a curse on her with saliva, which is disgusting. How did you guys feel about this overall scene?
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
I was just gonna say I was afraid at first because I was like, where are they gonna take this? And then I guess I was relieved once I saw him drawn on the chalk. I was like, okay, some type of magic's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then I was definitely grossed the fuck out over I don't know what they make fake spit out of, but they got the right mixture going, because I was like, that's gross. And it's like, even though you're acting, like, that's gross.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a curse or a blatant display of magic. I thought they were just going to do, I don't know what I thought they were going to do. But when he started drawing on the chalk, I was like, okay, she's not going to die.
Yeah, something's my head.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan?
It's sad to say that I was expecting a lot worse to happen. Like, there were a few options that ran through my head, so that when, like you said, when they started drawing the chalk, there was kind of, for me, like a moment of relief. I knew it wouldn't be good, but some of the things that I was afraid of happening to her in that moment, not happening, was like, okay, thank God, it's just magic. But to see what that spell became, it's kind of one of the things that I was worried about for this season. How much more magic are we going to see as we wrap up the season? Because, like I was saying last episode, so much of the magic that we were seeing that was really impressive was coming through Christina, but we never really got to see what Lancaster's capable of doing. We knew that he could do a lot, but this episode, especially in that moment, started to expose some of what he can do. And then I was worried for her because, that moment of relief was short-lived, because what did he do to her? What's about to happen now? And I assumed it would be something like he planted something in her where he can control her, or use her to, I guess, like infiltrate the other side and figure out information or get intel. But it was just like over as soon as it started. So I had no clue.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought like he was going to do something to get the truth out of her, or kind of just make her go crazy where she had no choice but to tell him what happened, even though she doesn't know, because she's like, so they don't care. They think she knows something. So I thought that was that was happening, but no. We get these two I looked it up. They're named Topsy and Bopsy, the two little girls.
Creepy
and they're creepy as fuck. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward to the part where I think Diana, she's at, I'm not too sure, she's like at a train station, or she's just with a group of people, and she's like looking, and from the steps you just see one of the little girls just walking backwards, like twitching. Then you see another one, and I'm just like, and they're just like break dancing but doing these weird movements and stuff. It was just creepy, so bizarre. And they had these like long ass fingernails and glowing eyes, and it was a lot for me. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I will say this, like I knew that first of all, I thought it was going to be only one of these little girls. I didn't know it was going to be two. And then my guess was that just because I was thinking like, all right, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever, because they had like a little bit of those vibes in the last trailer. And I'm thinking like, well, maybe Dee's going to have like this little girl as like a kind of like a ghost or something, kind of like a ghost of Christmas past, future, and like present and stuff.
Oh,
Kind of something like that. But no, it was like the total opposite. So guys, what did y'all think about like them?
I think
Yeah,
for
right.
Topsy and Bopsy, they were very well done. They were extremely frightening, and they were one of the reasons that this episode for me was one of the scariest. Actually, no, for me, it was the scariest episode of the season, and they contributed a lot to that.
Mhm.
I don't know who those actresses are. I need to look it up, but
Same.
they were really into that role. The contortionism, the way that
Yeah.
they played into it, the spiky teeth, the nails. And I didn't really catch kind of like what their goal was, but when she witnessed them on the platform,
Mhm.
and she's telling the white dude, like, you see them, don't you see? It's like, no, of course I don't. It kind of felt like when you see social injustice in the world and how we see it, but somehow miraculously other people who it's not affecting, they don't see it. That's what it felt like for me. But then I didn't feel that follow through with the twins. So what they represented for me just got lost over time, but they were just so scary. For me,
Yeah.
if I can't like put something on it, it actually scares me more. That's the way my brain works. So they did a
Same.
great job.
Yeah. How about you, Grae?
Yeah, when I first saw them, or I call them Jig-A-Boos. I didn't know they had names.
Yeah.
But so when
I
I
looked
first
it up
saw
real
them,
quick. I like they gotta have
okay.
names.
um,
So Jig-A-Boos, Topsy and Bopsy.
Yeah.
it was one of those things where I realized an Easter egg in real time, or that I've been ignoring the title card. Because when the show comes on, I saw Emmett Till's bowler, and I was like, okay, this is the episode. It's going to tie in.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize until I saw them come on the screen, it's the two of them in the background. So I was like, I think I've missed this all 7 episodes. Like, I just read whatever the name of the episode is, and I don't look at the clue.
Oh yeah,
what's going
they usually show that because even with I think it was what was episode 4, the
A
the
History of
Goonies
Violence.
one. Yeah, that one. I can never get that one right. But even when that title card, like you see like a skull or something, and so you go you can tell that it was going to give us like Goonies and Indiana Jones vibes or whatever. So they do drop some clues when the title card does come up with the the name of the episode. So you're right. They do.
And
8
to be fair,
episodes in, and I'm just
sorry.
discovering it.
You said what?
Okay. I said 8 episodes in, and I'm just discovering it.
I definitely never looked either. And to be fair, I don't remember the episode titles either. I just have them, I was good up until like I think episode 3, but then I had to start writing the titles out because I can't keep up anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
Jig-A-Bobo's a good one, like because I can easily remember. But History of Violence, like,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I forgot about that one quick. Still a good episode though, but
yeah.
All right, so leaving that, we also have Gia coming to find
Y'all called it.
Yeah. We said it last week. We said it. We're like, yo,
So
she's gonna
messy.
come, we're gonna find out, and messy. We see that Gia's there, she meets Letty, and then it was like a really, really quick scene, and then they just like went on to something else. I'm just like, no, I wanna wait, keep going. But I'm not going to chop it up so much. But Letty ends up seeing Gia, and obviously they had conversation because when Tick comes, I guess, home or whatever, and he sees Gia there, and clearly they had some words with each other because they both look pissed off.
Yeah.
Especially Letty because she's pregnant, she's going through all this crazy shit. So at this point, I feel very bad for Letty because it's just like she can't catch a break, especially with this man. But I will say Tick also made me he pissed me off. because how he was talking to Gia, and I understand that he's with Letty, but I feel like he should have went about it differently of how he talked to Gia, because when he was there, he was like, all up on her and stuff. I know he found out that she was what is it, a key
Kumiho. Yeah, Kumiho.
Kamiho.
Yeah.
She's a Kamiho or whatever. He didn't know what that was, and she had to explain it, to Letty and him. So I mean, that's to be fair, like I'll probably react the same way, but he still shouldn't have talked to her like that. Like I feel sometimes I'm like, damn man, like why you have to do that?
Yeah.
But we obviously I don't think we see any of Gia after that. I think she just she was gone after that conversation, and Letty went away, and we didn't see any more of Gia. I expected more to come from that whole entire scene, but I guess maybe they're saving that for a little bit later, because I'm sure Gia didn't travel all that way just for that right there. She's going to stay for a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to do, but
I think she's going to have a child.
Gia?
I'm just saying, why else would she come? We're worried about a son. They didn't say that's his only son.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what if she does have a kid, and then Letty have a kid, so he has 2 kids,
or already had a kid? Because like you said, his whole reaction was out of pocket for yeah, you can run into an ex, or they drop in. It's not like she showed up wanting something. She's like, hey, you're going to die. I don't know how, but I'm here.
Right.
So it's someone obviously cares from genuine position, as well as she didn't seem to be hostile towards Letty. She isn't happy, but she's accepting that situation.
Yeah.
So it's why would he try to get her to disappear so quickly?
True.
I was so ready for mess that I thought.
I know you was.
I was like, okay, please, not while she's pregnant. I thought that some blows were going to be thrown. So I wasn't expecting her this episode. I knew that she would be coming, but seeing as though she's pregnant, I don't know what I was anticipating, but it did seem more tame. I was very proud of them. So I think Grae, you're onto something, and now I'm uncomfortable because what if Letty and her both have babies, or he's assuming the baby's going to come from Letty, but it does come from her, and with her having the spirit in her, how is that going to impact the birth? I don't know. That's crazy.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, things keep teeing off to where Christina is keeping Tick alive for herself at this point.
Yeah.
So she can try and achieve that immortality. But I think something with the bloodline is going to screw her up, and she's not going to be able to do it because there are more cousins. I think that's what they said they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were at the thing, and I forgot what he was asking her or whatever, and he gave her the key or whatever. And then when she said that, she said something and then called him cousin. And I was like, oh. So I knew they were related in some way, because they mentioned something about that in episode 2.
Yeah.
But when she said cousin, I was just like, oh, okay. So I guess y'all must be really family then. Cool.
Yeah, that's when she was talking about how you have to cast a spell, how you need intent and all those other elements. I can't remember everything, but I remember the intent because they follow back up with it with Montrose later on.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of fucking Christina, so yeah, guys. Speaking of, we have a lot more of Christina in this episode, and I thought we was going to see the last of William an episode or 2 ago, but no, we see more of William this one. And now that we know, when we see William, we really know that's Christina. So we see Ruby getting harassed by this random white guy. William comes in and kind of saves the day or whatever. And then fast forward to this insane sex scene. Okay. Real quick. My thoughts. Okay, so I'm like, all right, she's comfortable with Christina as William having sex with, But then in my head, I'm like, well, is she attracted to William, or is she still attracted to Christina? Is that whole confusion with me? Because I'm like, all right, I know she's attracted to William because that was a thing before she realized that was actually Christina.
Yeah.
But now that she knows, she still continues to do that. And then, she decides to take the potion and becomes, the dog wrangler lady or whatever. So they're being two different people having sex with each other. And then I'm like, all right, this is weird and odd. But when we see Ruby transitioning, like, I like that effect, like, because when she took it, like, one of her eyes started to change, and then you just start to see her body slowly, like, change into the woman, and then it goes into them having sex. And then we start to see a messy, fleshy.
Fleshy is the operative word.
Yes.
I was just like, what the fuck? Literally, like, as she's on top of William Christina. I'm just going to blend those names together.
Yeah.
You just see the flesh dripping, like, dropping off of her, just falling off. Tender. Like, just... It was messy. It was just so weird. Guys, what did y'all think about this episode? I mean, that scene. Grae.
No, I mean, I don't think I can describe it any different than what you just described. I've never seen a sex scene or a climax scene shot in this way before. It was truly shocking and had my whole attention for different than normal reasons.
Yeah.
And I like that just from an episodic showcase of there's pretty much sex in every episode, and it isn't the same repetitive, here's an ass here, here's some tits here. It's like levels to it. I don't even know what you want to call this.
A lot of levels.
But I was like, wow, this is great. As far as Ruby as a character, I think it's a moment of like you want something to take the pain away. Trying to be that white woman before was helping you not having to deal with your pain. But I think somewhere in that situation, her O-face was just like, no, you're so Ruby. And this is the way you experience joy and pain.
Right.
Yeah. For me, like, when she took it, I was sad instantly because I took it as, oh, she's so, traumatized from everything going on that she just wants to leave all that behind. I thought it was symbolic of like Ruby's character switching, essentially. I'm happy to see that wasn't the case in the long run, but that's what I thought in the moment. And I wasn't expecting her to transition back like during coitus, and
so quickly too. Like, it was.
Yeah, she had like the bargain version of the potion or something because William was still intact, like, but she starts like popping and coming loose like 5 minutes into the session, and I'm like, this is like, and I couldn't stop looking. Like, I was like, okay, no, this is fascinating, but I feel like I'm supposed to be grossed out. It's just the graphics in this show are really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to actually watch it, go down. Yeah. I know that if I were in William's shoes, I would have stopped. It also made me wonder, like, how does Christina identify? Because if you remember, and I don't know if it was the last episode or the one before, she said these words were my own. It may have been, a potion going on, but these words were my own. So it made me wonder, does Christina really have feelings for Ruby? And then I saw the episode go through and I'm like, what the hell am I saying? She's using her. She doesn't feel anything for real, except for how she wants to advance herself. She's going to say anything to Ruby to make sure that her ends are met.
I was thinking that until we see, they have that heated debate between like, Christina, do you feel anything? I'm suffering. Ruby's gone to her saying this. And then on the surface, Christina's like, no, this is about me. This is me.
Yeah.
But then later we see her choose to die the same way Emmett Till died.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a moment of growth as far as Christina's like, you know what? I don't understand, but I do like Ruby to some extent, I will say. So I'm going to pay these people to do this to me so I can understand how she feels.
That's exactly how I it. So, like, I felt like, because when she was talking to Ruby and she was saying like, she don't care about what happened to Emmett Till. She don't like. I was like, well, damn, like, bitch, that's like how you really feel, like shit. Like, but then when she I guess had those guys do that to her, and at first I was confused at that part. I'm like, well, what's going on? But then when I started to see it like kept going and progressing, I was like, oh, I see what she's doing. She's trying to understand how that feels, you know what I mean? So then I started to think, well, does she actually do care about Ruby? Because why would she go through all of this to understand that, you know what I mean? Like if she doesn't care about Ruby, then why would she put herself in that situation to understand how it felt to be Emmett Till being attacked and being, you know, killed like that? So that's when at that point, that's when I knew, I'm like, all right, I understand that she is using Ruby, but at the same time, I think she still do have some type of feeling for her.
I hope that's the case. I guess I don't trust her. Something about her just throws me off so much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you're right to think so. Like I'll be my own devil's advocate, because I also thought she needed part of casting a spell's intent. So when she made Letty immortal, Letty's trying to protect her family or her baby daddy. Christina needed something worthwhile, and Ruby is a relationship. So like doing this for Ruby could have been her intent to make sure the spell worked. Not necessarily genuine. She just had to do it to
guys,
do it.
I'm just trying to see the good in people. I was thinking like, well, maybe she does have some heart. She's just trying to, and you just like, nah. I'm like, oh,
you know,
I want to believe the first one. I do.
Yeah, I feel like it's because even though I don't trust her and stuff, and she's clearly like all over the place, there's something I like about the character of Christina, and I don't know what it is. I actually do like the characterization, so it's like, of course, like I want to, but it's like, I don't know.
I like her drive for sure. I mean, you even see that during the death scene. Like she is fighting back just enough to make sure they finish the job and don't, give up or something like that. Because at first I was like, why would she do that? And I was like, oh yeah, some people have weak stomachs, and it's like, I can't keep hitting this woman. But no, they went through with it.
Yeah. Oh man. I like Christina a lot too, and like we say this every week, but like I don't necessarily think she's a bad person. She just she just has a goal and she's trying to get there. She has a destination she's trying to get there, and she's very ambitious, and she's just going to do whatever it takes to get there. So I don't think she's a horrible person, but she just does horrible things. But I think as a person, she's just like, damn, I kind of feel bad, but nah, not really. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I like Christina a lot. She's dope. I remember Zoe comparing her to Lilith from Sabrina, the Netflix show, whatever, because she's like not a villain, but she's kind of like on her own path. Like you don't know if she's like good or bad. She's just like there because she has a mission. I mean, she's on a mission, and you don't know whether to trust her or not. So she does remind me of Lilith from Sabrina a little bit.
That makes her exciting too. Like I don't like characters that are just like black or white. I like seeing people who are kind of like you're trying to figure them out. They're anti-villains or anti-heroes. Like I like those type of characters.
Mm-hmm. So we also get so we have all that going on, and we still have poor D being tortured by these little girls. And you know what I instantly thought about? Have you guys seen It Follows before? Well, I'm sure y'all seen It Follows.
Yeah.
Have you seen It Follows? It reminded me of that, because you know how mine is the whole STD stuff or whatever. But it reminded me of that because she's trying to get away from like these entities or whatever, and it does take a while for them to catch up. But she's the only one that can see them, but nobody else can. So it kind of gave me those vibes a little, that vibe a little bit. And I was trying to explain it to my boyfriend, and he was just like, "I've never seen that." I'm just like, "All right, whatever." I want him to be like, "Me too." And I'm just like, I didn't get that, so I was by myself, y'all.
Yeah, no, Emilio felt the same way. He said he's the one that told me I'm getting strong It Follows vibes from this, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely see it."
Yeah.
I did not. Ryan, I have to borrow your T-shirt. I was getting tethered vibes, and
Now, that's what my boyfriend said. He said he was getting us vibes, and he said,
okay,
and he like, and Jordan Peele does have an involvement in this show, and I was just like, right. So it's funny that you're wearing that shirt, Ryan. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
But guess who picked it out for me? My fiance. So maybe he was trying to say something. That's really funny. Because I was wearing the Freddy Krueger shirt that I was going to wear for the episode, and he's like, "No, wear this." So
perfect.
Yeah, he did good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sending a hand.
Yeah. As far as those characters go, I did think there was a weird shift in, I guess, fourth wall. Like I noticed after a while that she's not allowed to tell people about them. So like that's when she like can't talk or can't breathe type thing happens.
Yeah.
But when they were going to the bookstore, and let me ask you a question actually. What do you guys think she's drawing? Like she's feverishly drawing something page after page before they come in, and I couldn't figure out if she was.
One of the pictures got shown, but it was like in a flash, and it was Topsy or Bopsy. I can't tell them apart, but it was one of them. Yeah, but then the other stuff I couldn't see.
Do you think she was working on her own spell?
Possibly. Yeah, maybe she was trying to she was working on her own spell to maybe trying to get rid of them or something.
I mean, that's founded on zero thought. I was just like, I thought we were going to get to see what was going on there. But
you know how this worked. We talk about it, and then it kind of happens the next week.
Yeah, I mean, the team so far has been knocking it out. Like we've been catching everything collectively. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then we be thinking it's going to happen like later episodes, but it literally happens like the next episode, which is crazy. So, Grae, if you're saying this now, and if it happens,
we will see. But what I was going to ask you guys before I just thought about that, did you see where Topsy or Tipsy or whichever one?
Not Tipsy, Lord.
Topsy,
they kind of did this like stare, break the fourth wall, look at the camera.
Like,
the door.
Closes the door.
I honestly couldn't tell what that was about. Like I was just like, I mean,
that was so
creepy for a second because I was like, what?
That was so creepy to me because Dee was beating up the other one or whatever, and then when she gets in, and then she like looks out and she literally looks directly at the camera and does like that smile, and then like closes it. I'm like, what is that about? Like, so I'm just like, this is so fucking creepy. I'm gonna have nightmares.
Not me. I'm gonna take some goat blood and put a little X in my door frame. I'm not getting got by Topsy, Bopsy, Tipsy, or nobody. I can't deal with it. But I did notice that it was very scary.
It was. They did a great job. Misha Green, she directed this episode. She killed it because it was directing those little girls. They had to. That's some talent there. That's some talent because they were fucking creepy. But there was also a scene where Dee is she runs into Letty and then like she sees like one of them. But before we even get to like her seeing them again, we see the little girls jumping rope, singing a tune or whatever, and that's obviously a reference towards A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I feel like this is like a very heavy Nightmare on Elm Street inspired episode. Because you have that, and I guess with Tipsy, Bitsy, Bopsy, whatever, they're kind of like
Bipsy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like they're kind of like a nightmare of of their own to Dee or whatever. You know what I mean? And then they got like the long nails, and then when Dee is fighting them, and I think it's Montrose that goes inside and like helping her, and you start seeing her get the little claw marks and stuff on her. Yeah. So it's definitely like Nightmare on Elm Street inspired, which I liked a lot. Misha Green is definitely a fan of horror because she's for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I thought that scene was actually again more of Montrose thinking he's helping someone to their own detriment.
Yes,
and it's like, he can't win for lose. It's like he thinks they're tagging her and you're holding her down for it. But you gotta assume his heart's in the right place. He just doesn't understand what's going on.
I gotta give that one to you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Montrose has cursed himself. He just can't. Like he just that man, even when he's trying to do good, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
That poor man.
Yeah, that poor man. But the part I was confused on at that part, if you look when he does that, and I wasn't too sure what happened with like the two girls. One of them like fold their hands and like fall and like they're disappointed.
Yeah.
Like he like did something to stop it, and then it kind of like blurs out and then goes to the next scene. So I was confused. 'Cause I'm just like, all right, like did he do something to stop them from attacking her, or like why did they seem disappointed at that moment? It was really weird to me. I'm gonna go back and watch it, but it was just a little weird to me. I'm not too sure if you guys caught that.
Maybe if she drew one of the Jig-A-Boos and Montrose sees it, then it breaks the curse.
Okay.
So that's one maybe why we have one arm folded and one still attacking.
Yeah.
Because then Montrose subconscious knows. I don't know.
That could be it.
I want to know what's going on with that paper. It's connected.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely connected. And the thing is with that, I thought it was just artistic choice, but that's one of the things I know I missed, because it feels like with this show, very little is just, it's visually stimulating. There's such a message to the way that they choose to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go back and see, because I noticed that too. She seemed so disappointed. Montrose was holding Dee, and the other one, it didn't kill her, but she, tore at her arm, and then it, propagates into a curse, as we see in the next episode. But I have to go back and watch, because like Grae's saying, the last thing she was doing beforehand was she was drawing the pictures feverishly as she could. I know she was trying to attack them, but I think that was just more to stave them off. The only one that we saw fall was one of them, but it feels like she went through maybe like 3 to 4 pages worth of drawing. So there's something that she's trying to, and we might find out next episode, because the thing with the show is amazing. They don't hold off that type of stuff too long. I found out, like, they typically give it to you as soon as the next episode comes, so they can get on to the next thing, which I appreciate a lot. So I think next episode we're going to figure out like what's going to happen with that. Like what did she draw?
I think on the next episode, this is just my thing. For some reason, I got like they're trying to save Dee. Again, I might be wrong, but I think Dee might possibly be turning into one of them.
I got that vibe too.
Because when she was like laying there, like I don't know, maybe it was just fucking with my head or whatever. But like I seen Dee laying there, and then it looked like she was one of them. Like, and I was just like, okay, is she like slowly turning into one of them or whatever? And she's gonna that's gonna be her curse. Like once they attack her or whatever they do to her, she's gonna slowly like transition and look like one of them. I don't know. Yeah. I could be wrong. But that's what it looked like to me for the next episode. You was about to say something, Greg?
I'm the hamster wheel's turning. Because I was thinking maybe it is to a certain effect. Like the captain doesn't know what he cursed her with.
Yeah.
He just knows, or he has. You can make an argument to say that she is being attacked by the way he views her.
Yeah,
and then that's how you get the little Jig-A-Boos going after her. But when she has that confrontation with them, he honestly doesn't know what's after her. Yeah, he just knows he summoned something.
Yeah, because when she approached them, first of all, Dee stormed up in that room just like like she had some balls to do that. I'll still be scared to do that because there's like these two white cops. They still can like do some stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But you're right. He said he'll be able to take off whatever is following her. So he even seemed unsure what he did to her. So you're right about that. So he's probably unaware, and that's just probably just something that he conjured up, and she's just dealing with. So
yeah, that whole scene was kind of cool. You do get a mini I am Hippolyta or Hippolyta's daughter moment there, and she completely owns everything and like calls them out all their shit.
She even said, "My mom's name is Greek for your information." Okay,
asshole.
Asshole.
So proud.
I love that moment.
Yeah, because she had already been through so much that it would have kind of sucked if the whole episode would have been her just being a victim. I like seeing her at least have that standoff before things went left.
Yeah.
Because she is strong like her mom. And
Yeah.
I feel like she's supposed to also represent like that resilient spirit of youth who are willing to go out and fight against injustices. So I need to see her come through. If she dies, I'm gonna be upset. I was upset when George died. And, you know, I don't think Hippolyta's dead for real, but I think they're going to address that next. But they're taking away my favorite people, so
And
yeah.
I'm hoping that she doesn't die. I don't think they going to kill her off though, because you already took away George and Hippolyta. We're unsure if she's ever going to come the fuck back.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she will though. I know she's not gone forever. I feel like she have to come back, especially listening to the podcast, the after show podcast. And when they were talking about on the podcast, it was just saying like how like she's off doing her own thing, and then having Hippolyta, you know, debating of going back to, you know, where she come from and what she's been going through her whole life and used to, and then where she's at now, like the struggle with like leaving D and just being happy with her own self.
Yeah.
I feel like Hippolyta is not going to like stay too far away from that. Like I feel like that's my daughter. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be out here doing this a bit, but I have to go back. So I feel like she's not gonna be permanently gone. And I forgot the name of the Afro alien.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yeah, no, that was her name, Beyond, but it's spelled like Beyond and then C'est La Vie, so Beyonce.
Yeah, they said, and you know what's funny? I didn't know that until the podcast.
Me neither.
And they were saying Beyonce, and I'm just like, let's stop playing. And it makes sense because the title name is I Am, and then Beyonce had an album I Am.
Yeah.
So it just makes perfect sense. They just spelled it way differently. Yeah. So that's why I made that joke last week saying I am Sasha Fierce. Because that's pretty much
and it slayed me.
Yeah. But with D, I just feel like I don't think they're going to kill her off. I hope they don't, but I don't think they're going to do that. The most they're probably going to have her go through is like this situation here with the, you know, the Jig-A-Boos, maybe turn her into one of them for like a temporary thing or whatever. Yeah. And then she somehow comes back, or maybe Hippolyta comes back and help her. But I do remember in the previews for the next episode, they was trying to get Christina to get them to help cure, I guess, and help out D. So I guess we'll find out what's going to happen in that episode. But it's just like they're going to Christina for everything. But you know, when it comes down to Christina, it comes, you know, with a price. You don't do anything for free. So she's going to ask for something.
But
so I wonder, it's Christina, Ryan. It's always something, okay? It's always something. Like, I don't know. She's going to ask for something. Maybe
the baby.
I don't know. Probably so.
Run me that baby and I'll remove this curse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And speaking of baby, so remember how last week we was wondering where Tick went when he went inside the portal?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's been revealed that he went into the future and he has a son. And his son wrote Lovecraft Country.
First of all, I loved it.
It was dope. I was wondering how they was going to tie that book in or whatever. And his son did it or whatever, and and that's how he found out that he's pregnant, because she didn't tell him. He found out by going into the future and finding out that way. So, what did you guys think about that?
It made me realize why in the beginning of the episode it seemed like he knew she was pregnant, because he was being very accommodating and saying, you know, are you sure this is not too much for you? Would you like to sit down? So I'm like, okay, maybe in between these two episodes, she divulged that she was pregnant. But then as the episode goes on, it turns out that's not the case. I'm like, okay, so he went into the future and he found out, and he named his son after George, because when I noticed it said George Freeman last episode, and I saw him go on that adventure with Hippolyta through the cosmos, I assumed that those works had turned into Lovecraft Country. But this is so much better. I love being surprised. Like, it was dope.
Yeah, it was dope. What about you, Grae?
I loved it, and for the audience, I guess the reveal of it was Tick having that moment with Montrose of like, I don't want to say apologizing, Tick being Tick, half-assing his emotions, I guess you could say. But I thought it was a great way to tie in bringing them back together to protect their family. So involving the grandfather and the father to be, or I don't even know how you word that because he already knows he's a father and that the kid turns out fine. But again, we don't know how many kids. That's just one that wrote something, or there could be some weird thing where it really is George, and George is alive in the future as his son to not throw off people.
Yeah, I'm about to say thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, anything's possible. This is only 8 episodes of the first season. I don't even know if HBO's announced if it'll get season 2, but
they did, which I'm surprised at. And I say this all the time, like I'm surprised that they haven't announced that it's going to get a season 2, because I feel like this show deserves a season 2. Like,
oh, for sure,
people talk about like it's everywhere. This is a popular show, so I don't understand why they.
This was a great season finale, though. It was a great season finale because I'm done with this show. I can't do it anymore. These ups and downs are just too much. This was a really scary episode for me. And I mean, if this is, I think like you said, Bobby, it shows that Misha is definitely a huge horror fan, because the elements that she chose to go with when she directed all this was definitely very frightening. And I'm pretty sure they're going to keep that pace, because now, I mean, what else is left? They've exposed enough of it where we're just going to get into the actual ending. I mean, it's going to be an ending of parts too. We may not even see Hippolyta come back. She might come back in season 2, because I'm sure there's going to be a season 2. It might be something dealing with COVID restrictions that they haven't actually like gone on and confirmed it 100%. But there's no way they're going to just leave us like this. And if they do, I'm going down there. It's simple.
Well, Misha, Jordan, Journey, and what's his name, Jonathan, all you guys, come on, man.
Yeah,
HBO. It's HBO fault, because they have to, they do all the renewing and shit. So, oh yeah. So we get to the end where the captain is trying to get in to Letty's house because he's looking for the orrery. That's what he's looking for, right?
Yeah.
He's looking for that. He can't get in because that fucking protective mark is still there, which I totally forgot about until he was literally trying to get inside the house. And then I was like, why is that working for him? I'm like, oh, well, it protects, from people that know how to do magic. So when he walks away, I'm just like, all right, this is not it. And then all the cops just start firing inside the house. That scared me. I'm like, oh my gosh, one of these bullets is going to hit like Letty or Ruby. Like it's going to something bad is going to happen on the scene. So I was freaking out. I'm just like, all right, somebody's going to get hurt or die. And I don't know if I was tripping. Maybe again, I am. But Letty, when she got up, was the bullets bouncing off of her? Or was it like a barrier?
No, you weren't tripping. Yeah.
Okay. Straight Superman.
Okay, very Superman. And she was just sitting there like, just looking. I'm just like, all right, like, so does that have to do something when her and Christina was in church?
Yeah.
And she did the whole, because I was confused about that part too in church. So she healed, like, did she like what? All right, I must have forgot something. So what did Christina do to Letty on that part right there? Because she did something to her, and like Letty lifted up her shirt and looked like she was being healed or something like that.
It feels like she was administering her father's protection spell onto Letty, but because of that angle, I feel like there's some trick to this. Like she's not really protecting Letty, but she might be protecting the unborn child. But as long as Letty's carrying the child, then there's going to be some type of protection over her or something. But yeah, it was the protection spell of the father, I think. Either way.
The marker came.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There you go.
But Ryan, I think you're totally right. I think once she gives birth, she's gonna find out she's not protected,
which is so cruel. It's so mean. Like, but
That's horrible.
it makes sense though. Like, she doesn't have the blood that Christina wants so badly.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously protecting Letty from these bullets or whatever. So then Tick shows up. You know, they all turn their guns at him. One of them shoots at him, slow motion.
Yeah.
Letty's coming out the house, trying to protect them. And we see a fucking Shoggoth appear from the ground.
Which was like, what is going on right now?
Me too. I was just like, my boyfriend was like, this show's weird. He literally like, this show's weird. I'm like, how? He's like, why did that alien thing just come off the ground? I'm like, it's a Shoggoth. But it did come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that Shoggoth was fucking those cops up. Limbs was flying all over the place. The cops was flying through the air. Blood was being splattered all over. It was a massacre. It was amazing. I loved it. But when it tried to, it looked like it was about to attack Tick. But then he just, started petting it and stuff like that. And he was cool with it. Like, that was his dog. So they said, no, Letty says, oh, so the spell worked.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So is that like a protection spell too? So the Shoggoths protect?
I don't know what's going on. This is all on you, Greg, because I had no clue. I'm not gonna lie.
I just assumed it was what him and Montrose conjured. And then like he just thought he was protected, but it never said what the protection was.
Oh.
And it seemed to be the family pets. So
the Shoggoths are the family pets. So that it has to be that. It has to be that. Because there's no other way.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
I mean,
and being as though Christina, she's birthing these things from, mammals and stuff like that. So it's just maybe, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
That ending definitely took me for a spin because I thought Tick would get shot, but I didn't think he would. I didn't think he would die. To be fair, but the last thing I would have expected was a Shoggoth like coming out of the ground like at the instant speed, and then, like you said, the massacre was glorious. Like they did a great job with that scene, like they've been doing throughout the season. I love seeing cops like on this show particularly just get their comeuppance because they've been so rotten to everyone the entire season. Did Lancaster get killed though?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think that was the arm with the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
so good.
But the thing is, then now I still have questions because, unless they'll talk about it later, but Lancaster, like, because you remember, like, he had, like, that torso that was black or whatever, and then he had that guy in the closet. Like, they never talked about any of that. So if he's dead, I wonder if they're going to go back and kind of, like, talk about that a little bit. I don't want that to be a plot hole. Like, I don't want that to just be like, oh, well, that was just something that he was doing. I don't know. Without us having, like, actual answers.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he knows magic, so I don't know. Maybe he'll, come back or something and just, his arm was just going to magically attach back to his fucking body. I don't know. This show, anything can happen.
Yeah.
You did bring attention a possible good plot hole because they haven't really teed up any other officer to be like, oh, this guy would succeed in his place. Mm-hmm. And then we go back to the closet. So it's like, and even Dee mentioned it. She was like, it smells in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah. When she was cursing them out.
Yeah. So I hope, we only have 2 episodes left, but I hope that they do not forget to circle back to that.
Yeah.
As if they're actively writing right now. I hope it's satisfying. Is what I meant to say.
Hopefully.
That's what it feels like. Even though we know they're not. It just feels that way. So
yeah, definitely. Well, that's how the episode ends. So again, another great episode. They have not yet to disappoint, in my opinion. I know since the show came on, I know some people probably fell off, some people, jumped on and stuff like that. But for me, each episode gets better. So overall, real quick, guys, so far where we at on episode 8, how do you think the season is so far? Like, is it satisfying? Do you want more? Um, are you just cool with where is it at? Like, what do you guys think? I start with you, Ryan.
I'm so pleased. I'm actually happy to be watching it as it happens. I rarely do that with shows. I typically let them run out and then I'll just binge. And I complained about it last week too. But in retrospect, it's just a great moment to be a part of. I absolutely love this show. It's one of my favorite moments in television history, and I'm satisfied. I really am.
Yeah. Grae.
I don't want to put this out there into the ether, and for whatever reason, HBO hears me.
Okay.
But I do think that this is one of those things where this could fix some market problems in the television industry. Like, if there was a choice for HBO to be like, hey, for $10 you can have all the episodes right now, or for your normal subscription you get it weekly, I'd pay the $10. And I've been staunch about paying anything for anything since COVID has happened.
Yeah.
If you're telling me I could go through Tick's whole adventure one Sunday, I would pay it.
Okay.
So it might be something, and I say this, and I don't work for HBO or anything like that, but it might be something for them to consider. Like, the way we binge watch has to change. You can't, especially when there's no way to make new episodes. But anyway, my point is, if this episode or this show is so good that yes, I would pay to see it.
Yeah. Same here. My thing is, I guess I'm so old school, because you mentioned like the binging and stuff like that. It's just like I do love binging shows and stuff, but kind of like what they're doing with The Boys on Amazon Prime, where, well, at least with season 2 that just came out, like they released the first 3 episodes one Friday, and then after that they released a new episode every Friday. So and the reason why is so they can continue to have people have something to talk about each week, rather than binging the whole thing in one day or 2 or 3 days, and then the conversation about the show is over. And that's one thing I like about this show, because it makes us like, we look forward to every Sunday for the show. You know what I mean? Rather than, and it's like, I would like, trust me, if it was like on Netflix, the whole season to binge or whatever, oh yeah, I'll be doing it.
It would have been done. Yeah.
I do not know if I'll have the same effect of like how I'm feeling right now. I don't know if I would feel the same way if I binged it. I don't know, because with shows like this, it takes a while for me to process certain things, or even think about certain things. When I'm binging stuff, it's just like, all right, I just need to see what's going to happen on the next episode. Cool. But what I like about the show is that, like, for instance, with this, I'm gonna be thinking about this whole episode, this whole entire week, and I'm gonna be coming up with new shit and new theories, or I'll probably go back and rewatch it because I'm like, all right, I know I'm gonna go back and watch it. But I feel like I missed some stuff, so I'm gonna go back and watch it to see the stuff that I missed or whatever. Whereas though, if I'm binging it, I probably won't do that. I'm just like, all right, they probably just want to talk about the next one, so I'll just go right on to that one. So I don't know. It's just like, I love binging, but I also like looking forward to a show each week because it gives me something to look forward to. And again, we're still talking about the show. The show came out in August and it's now October. We're still talking about this fucking show. So
I do think there's a duality to how that can work, because for this show, I agree with you 100%. The Boys, I think you can't flip it in the middle of the set. If they would have started season 1 episodic releases, I think it would have been fine. Like, I love The Boys. Am I watching it every Friday? No. I catch it when I catch it.
I do only because, like, on Fridays when I get off of work and it's like, oh, well, I have nothing else. Nothing comes on and I'm bored. Oh, The Boys came out. I do forget. And then, like, my boyfriend reminds me, like, hey, like, The Boys. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Even though I didn't watch this past Friday's episode because, again, I forgot. And so I just started talking about it. So
some of the stuff I've binged, and I don't realize until, like, months later. I don't know why, but I forget so much of it. Sabrina is a good example because, like, I love the new Sabrina. Like, I love what they did with it. But when I went back and rewatched season 1, there was just so much stuff that I just let go because I was enjoying it so much that I was living in these fleeting fast moments of the bigger pieces of the storyline. But when something's like slow coming like this, it actually gives me this weird amount of time to soak it in. I think the companion pod has helped me with that too, because with that companion pod, I mean, they really helped me, pick up on certain things that maybe I didn't notice or understand some of the intention behind things that are done. It's like soaking in.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about it. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I like soaking it in and just have it marinate and just have something to think about. And mentioning the companion podcast, they're great because I know one of the girls, she's a writer of the show, right? One of them. So I like listening to her. Well, both of them, but her specifically because the episode she writes, she goes into explanation of why and how she go about what she wrote and all that. Like she actually wrote I Am last episode ever. And she kind of went into,
and she was so happy.
And she was like I remember hearing her saying that she was like stressed out about it and stuff like that. Well, writing an episode like that, I'll be stressed out too. There's a lot of shit that happened on there.
Yes. I'm actually trying to find her name now because I know I follow her.
I think her name is Shannon. Shannon.
Yeah. Shannon Houston.
Yeah. But they're both great. I like listening. I listen to them every Monday. So I'm curious to know what they're going to say about this episode. But yeah, guys, this so far I'm enjoying this show. I love it so much. Again, I haven't felt this way about a show that came on weekly since maybe True Blood. Maybe. I think. Because everything's just like you could binge everything now, like on Netflix and stuff like that. But like looking forward to something, I know like True Blood, I used to be so happy to watch every Sunday night around this time.
Another HBO property.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I used to be obsessed with that show. Yeah, I can't think of any other show that since then that I've been super. Oh well, American Horror Story. Never mind. Let me take that back. How can I forget about my show, American Horror Story?
I've never watched that live. Like I've only binged. Like I've never
American Horror Story. Oh
yeah, I've only ever binged.
Nope, since season 1.
Wow.
Since season 1, I watched it live, and it's amazing. And I'm just so sad that we're not getting one this year, but it's all good. And I was reviewing those last year too. I did 1984 last year with my best friend, and that was fun. So I'm curious to know what they're going to do next season. So be prepared for that.
They're doing Aqua. Not Aqua. What am I trying to say? Oceanic Murders, whatever. Yeah. Murders on the Sea.
Yeah. Because I know there's like a deep theme, and there's like
aliens are coming back, I think.
Yeah, from Asylum, and they talking about sirens and shit like that. So
give me all of it.
Yeah, same here. And then Macaulay Culkin's gonna be in it. So I mean, I can't wait for it.
So I know y'all heard about the crazy sex scene between Macaulay Culkin and Kathy Bates. I'm just gonna go ahead and not with that scene, but everything else will be fine. Yes.
Who knows, man? It might be hot.
In that Brenda voice, that's some scary shit. And then on top of that, like, I mean, okay, well, if you had to watch that in HD or the sex scene with Ruby coming apart at the seams like Oogie Boogie off Night Before Christmas.
I'll watch that.
I can't believe you said in HD. Like you're
I had to raise the ceiling because you've already like braced yourself for the scene. So I have to make it like a little bit, less palatable.
I mean, you could have said 4K.
Or one of those 4D theaters where they actually they put the sense in, and then like when you go through certain things like this, you feel the splashes.
I don't need no. Ryan, you went too far with that one.
I'm just cooking up as many nightmares as I can before October's over.
And that's fine. That is totally fine. Oh man. All right, guys. So before we go, we always do a rating of our episodes. So Grae, I'll let you go first. What is your ratings so far?
Oh, wow. I should have thought about this before we started. I would go 1, 3,
Corey,
7, 2, 8, 7, 6, 4.
All right, repeat it one more time. What was your first one?
Oh, great. Now this is going to be really hard.
I'm sorry.
First one was 3.
Down.
3-1. Wait, I went 3-1, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4.
Okay. Mo 2.
Oh wait, 2 should have come after 3. 3, 1, 2.
3, 1, 2. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
History of Violence isn't a horrible episode. It's just not like I doubt I would ever rewatch that episode.
Yeah.
For no particular reason other than it didn't captivate me, I guess. I don't know. I said too much.
No, you didn't. Oh man.
Wait. I forgot that quick. 7. All right, never mind. Sorry. I just had like a.
I have the titles written down if you need it. Just let me know. I have my compendium of.
No, I'll let you go. You go next, Ryan. I think I got mine. I'm just gonna go numbers. I'm not gonna say the title names.
So the Beyonce episode is number 1 for me. Followed closely by Holy Ghost because I still love that episode.
Yes.
Sundown. So the first episode comes right after that. Strange Case moved up for me after this week, so now that's my 4th favorite. Jig-A-Bobo. So this new recent one, 8, comes right after that. Followed by Meet Me and Daegu because I like Jig-A-Bobo more than Meet Me and Daegu. And then the 4th episode of History and Violence is after that. Because each week that goes by that Yahima doesn't get justice, I'm a little with that episode. And so the last one after that is Whitey's on the Moon because it just feels disjointed from the rest of the series still for me.
Okay.
So that's my list. So 7, 3, 1, 5, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Okay. That is good. I like that all our words like can fluctuate each week. I love it. It's amazing. Because mine's definitely that. Mine's all right. So number 1 for me, guys, is this episode, number 8.
Wow.
Yeah, it moved up for me. I don't know, just because we got a lot in this episode. I was a little scared that we wasn't going to get a lot revealed, but we got some things revealed, like with Gia returning, and then with D, and the Jig-A-Bobos, and then just all of it.
Yeah.
So this moved up to number 1. Then number 3, number 7, 5, 1, 6, 4, 2. So you got the title name. Whitey's on the Moon is going to be last, and then History of Violence is number 4, right?
Yeah.
That's before. Yeah, so that's going to be before Whitey's on the Moon. And then is so those are the two last ones. So yeah, but this episode that just came on is my favorite one so far. Yeah.
I believe I said it last week, but I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to rewatching this one because I'll be honest, I've never read Uncle Tom's Cabin. I don't know if that's a faux pas or not, or if it's something I should have read.
Yeah.
And then even Dee's Hat, I assume that that's some type of important Negro league of some sort.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you if that was baseball, football, basketball, cricket.
Cricket.
Well, I don't know. I know it's a baseball cap, so we'll say baseball. How about that?
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. So just going back and notating those things and trying to understand better, or maybe it adds more detail, clarity to things.
Yeah.
The pod will probably go into it. I guarantee
I was just about to say that. I said they'll probably say something about it. My first impressions was I thought it was maybe Bobo's or whatever, and she was just wearing it just because it was his or whatever, and she was cool with him or whatever. Not that we ever see him wearing it, I don't think, but I just thought that it was just his, and she just decided to wear it. But Uncle Tom's Cabin, they did show that a couple times, when it before it fell on the floor, and then when Montrose picked it up, he's seen it. And then also that creepy ass song that played every time you seen Topsy and Bopsy or whatever. It was that one song that keep playing. I think I had it written down or whatever. I'm not too sure.
Knock knock or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't like it.
By the window.
No, it's not.
It had those type of vibes.
It did.
It did give me that too, and maybe that was the inspiration. So, yo, that song freaks me the fuck out ever since I seen Insidious.
Yeah,
Insidious, like, yeah, that's another thing. I'm not too sure how y'all feel about that movie, but that movie got me out of here when I first watched it.
My younger brother hated it so much. He took his girlfriend there, and he said that he told her, like, look, can we just go? Like, they walked out like midway through the movie, and I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, this film is excellent. But
yeah, it's great. I remember I watched it 'cause I didn't get a chance to see it in theater, so when it I bought it off of like iTunes or whatever, and I had like my headphones on and I was watching. I was like, let me just sit up on my bed and watch it on my laptop, and that was the worst thing.
Oh,
like literally, like I closed my laptop. I didn't finish it until the next morning. I punked out because it was late at night, and I thought, and I'm fine. Like I don't get scared off of like a lot of scary movies and stuff like that. Like I'm just not that guy, whatever. But when it comes to, I guess, jump scares like that,
yeah,
and just like creepy shit, it's just, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for it. I thought it was gonna be a bunch of weak jump scares, but at that time they weren't weak. They got me.
They were coming hard with those jump scares.
Yeah, and then the music and stuff like behind it, and just it was just gave me chills and goosebumps. But then the last two Insidious movies, I didn't care for part 2 or 3, like because then one of the ghosts ended up being like some type of drag queen or whatever, and then the third one, you got the thing with the key. It didn't make. You got the fucking Lin Shay doing karate with the ghosts and stuff like that. It was just a bit much. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
They kept trying to want to shock us. Like they were so obsessed with the shock that it just kind of lost its natural flow of fear.
Yeah, it was a mess. I'm like, y'all tried it. So number 1, they should just. I don't even bother watching the other 2. I just watch number 1. That's how it ends for me. When it goes off that way, nothing else happens after that.
I don't know why this is killing me right now. You know what it is? It's because I've never actually talked to anyone about Insidious, so it's just cracking me up to hear like the exact same feelings I was having about that movie.
Disappointing. Just whatever. I don't care. But yeah, guys, that would be it for tonight's episode. I'm happy that everybody enjoyed it. I fucking enjoyed it. I love getting y'all ratings for each episode each week or whatever. It's been great. And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I'm really curious of maybe again, we might get Hippolyta coming back, maybe not. Maybe D is going to turn into, she'll be the Bipsy with Topsy and Bopsy. She turns into Bipsy,
She'll turn to BJ or Baby Bop.
I don't know. It's going. And then obviously they want Christina to help them out with D going through the situation. So maybe we'll find out what Christina wants in exchange. So yeah, there's a lot that's going on. I wonder if G is going to pop up. I don't know. It's a lot more questions. People. But hopefully we'll get a lot of them answered next week. So yeah,
I think we will.
Yeah, I feel like we will. We'll see. I do want to see Hippolyta come back though, because you're not going to just leave your daughter to go to outer space. Like I understand that you want to live for yourself, and I get that, but just give your daughter one last visit, say goodbye. I gotta do this for me, woman. I mean, little girl, I love you. I visit you every now and then, but I gotta go back to the cosmos and just leave it as that.
Yeah.
Or maybe D can go with her. Who knows?
Oh, I'd like that. Sure. I'd like that as an ending.
Yeah, y'all just both go, but both go and just live up there forever with Beyonce. So
they tried that
one
name.
Thing this episode made me aware of is that I have no concept of time within the episodes. I just realized that, has it been summer this whole time, or was it another season? So who knows how long Hippolyta's been gone other than one visible day and night.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But didn't they mention something about the autumn equinox or whatever or something?
In 5 days.
Yeah, in 5 days. So I guess they went from summer to autumn. So maybe they're in the same season we're in right now. I don't know.
Well, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, guys, that ends tonight's episode. So before we go, Grae, where can everybody find you, sir?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Grae himself. It should be somewhere underneath this finger, right down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Kill the Dead podcast, new episode coming out this Thursday if you're listening in real time. Watching
boy.
in real time.
I missed y'all. I was waiting for y'all to come back.
Yeah, I just gotta edit it.
Child, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yes.
Ryan, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Brother Ghoulish. I'm still in the page for your book on Instagram and Twitter. You can also listen to my podcast, Brother Ghoulish's Tomb, wherever podcasts are played. And if you want updates in between all that stuff, you forget some of this information, just check out brotherghoulish.com. I actually recently redid my webpage because I had some extra time on my hands. So if you guys want to check that out, that's pretty cool.
I will.
I did a new banner and stuff. There's more colors. So
yeah,
Brother
I
Ghoulish.
love more colors.
Yes.
The colorful, the better.
Yeah, so Brother Ghoulish's Tomb. Ooh.
Hey.
Yes. All right. Ooh.
I do like your theories, like on the craft, the new one or whatever.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. Real quick before we go, I know this is about Lovecraft Country, but what's y'all thoughts on the craft? Real quick. Sorry, y'all, that's whatever watching. I'm sure y'all seen the trailer for the craft, but I want to talk about it because I'm excited.
Let me set up.
What do you guys think, real quick, before we go? So, what y'all think? Great.
I'm apprehensive. However, I do like the trailer. I do love that it's a sequel and not a remake or replacement, if you will. Yes, so, good or bad, our version can still exist.
Oh, yeah.
And be loved and cherished. And if this one does well and is a spiritual sequel, then great, fantastic. If not, and it could be something that just kids today identify with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the fact that they kept the "We're the Weirdos, Mister" part.
Yeah.
But I hope that happens earlier on in the film and it's not like an end piece.
Oh yeah.
That we just get that out of the way, nostalgia.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Excuse you, sir. If that's an end sequence scene, I'm okay with that. I mean, that scene popping up anywhere is gonna just thrill me and chill me some more. Like, I'm excited after this trailer. I don't know why, but you know what? No, I do know why. Because I thought I was gonna hate it when I kept hearing that it was gonna be like a reboot or they were gonna replace it, like you said, Grae. I wasn't really interested in seeing something like that. I was gonna watch it because loyalty, but I really wanted a sequel. And then to see that all the callbacks were so specific to certain things in the film, like the rules that have been established and all that other stuff. Yeah. And then some of the other little things that I noticed in the trailer, like, made me even more excited because when I watched it the first time, I assumed that the three girls were binding the one that wasn't there. But then to see that they were binding all of them in the same Polaroid, I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And some of the stuff, like, don't get me started. I'm excited.
No, I heard this on your breakdown too. Like,
yes,
I like your theory for that so far. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of like both of y'all. Like at first, I was kind of excited, kind of like, all right, where are they gonna go with this? I already knew they was gonna make this for like the newer generation or whatever, but I was unsure if it was going to be like a reboot or a sequel or whatever. But I am happy that it is like a sequel in the sense like it's a continuation or whatever, just for like the newer kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be like just giving me like CW, like witchy, like that type of stuff, because I hear a lot of people saying that is like that teen like witchy type of stuff. And even though the craft, the original, like our version of it, it's not that, like, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not that campy. It was dark, even like how it looked, it was dark. With this one, it just looked like it's too like Twilight, sparkly, and just I don't know. It's really weird. But maybe that's just to throw us off. I want it to be a little bit more like I'm not gonna say gritty, but just a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know the right words to say for that. But it does look exciting. I am gonna watch. The only thing I did not like in that trailer, I did get excited, but I didn't like it at the same time as when they showed Nancy in that picture. I'm like, all right, cool. All right. Because I'm just like, first of all, that's a still shot from when she opened up the fucking bathroom stall. When did Sarah take that picture of Nancy? No, she did not take that picture. Like, come on. No, that was clearly a still shot. They could have got one when she's just like smiling. They could have chose like a different still shot of Nancy, not that one that she's just looking like. That's literally like a picture from when she opened up the bathroom stall when she was like bothering Sarah. So that was just lazy. That was lazy in my opinion.
Two things I take away from this. One, it's a Blumhouse production.
True.
And they're horrible with continuity. I remember with Fantasy Island, at one point it takes them like hours to get to the secret cave or whatever. And then like when we're in the third act of the film, they can get to that secret cave in 20 minutes. It's like all of a sudden the distance is commuted. They did a similar thing in Black Christmas 2018. As well as sometimes Blumhouse makes trailers that have nothing to do with the movie, and it's never makes it in the film.
Yeah,
so
they even did that with Halloween. They did that with Halloween. Yeah, same here. I mean, but again, it's probably not made for us. Well, I know it's not made for us. Maybe it's going to do a lower fan service because it has to pay some type of homage to the original. Because I mean, it's the craft. But I think overall the film is not for us. It's for these new kids and stuff. But I don't know. I still watch. We're getting a lot of witchy goodness. Yeah. I do want somebody to make an appearance though. I don't care if it's Nancy. I don't care if it's Sarah, Nev Campbell, Rachel True. I need somebody to make a appearance and not just no damn picture. That's a still shot from the last movie. So
that really upset you that it was that still shot, because you're right. I didn't think about it till you said it. They could have used like footage that hadn't been shown already. Like they could have just took it from them in between the sets or something.
You know how many pictures that you could have got of Nancy when like she's sitting there having a good time that looked like she was actually like caught in a photo opportunity, like you could actually believe somebody took that picture. They showed that picture. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. That bothered me a lot. But like Grae said, is Blumhouse. So
would you settle for like a lesser appearance, like if Laura came back and we get to see how magic ruined her life or made it better?
That would be cute. I would like that. But not just her. I would like to see an original witch out of the four, at least one of them, and Laura, just to see how she is. Or maybe Rachel True character and Laura. Maybe both of them.
Yeah, I was thinking Rachel True, but I don't know if they would do that. I feel like we would have heard if she was involved.
Same. Yeah. Or any other.
Maybe we'll get Chris, Skeet's on the Scream set, so
okay.
Around in general, we live in the 90s.
Yeah,
I forgot his name was Skeet Ehrlich, so I was like, "What is Grae saying?" I was like, "Okay, no, I got it."
Not that type of Skeet, Ryan.
And I was gonna keep it real, like, "Okay, cool."
Not that one.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting that's him. He looks like a baby Johnny Depp to me.
Everybody say that. I don't see it. I mean, maybe the hair on screen, but like after that, I don't see it.
I see it.
I don't know.
They are like carbon copies.
Younger, yes.
They're Topsy and Bopsy. Skeet and Yeet.
Oh,
Yeet.
Skeet and
Yeet.
I'm trying to. Okay. Sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching us talk and ramble Lovecraft Country and non-Lovecraft Country. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to show my people here some love. Ryan from Brother Ghoulish's Tomb, Grae from Killed It Dead Podcast. Check these guys out and make sure you leave them comments and rate their podcast as well. That's important. So thanks again for watching, and we see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Right.